If you do not know the result of this match at Twickenham, please go and find that out. Go and watch the game and then come back. Deadpan face right now, which is about to change. Wow. That was a bit special. Just first and foremost, as a rugby game, that was ace. Today has been ace for the sport of rugby, for the Six Nations. You're on a great accumulator if you picked both of the wingers. I have not heard Twickenham like this in ages, but what I will say is I hadn't heard Twickenham the way it is now, even before Marcus Smith knocked over the drop goal to win that match famously, 23 points to 22. Ben Earl has been announced as man of the match. I love that man. He is incredible. What a great game. Ireland will feel like they did not bring their best rugby, but there's two teams and England did not allow them to bring their best rugby. I've been at Twickenham. I was here when we got hammered by South Africa in the autumn 2022. I was here when Duan van der Merwe scored that wonder try a year ago. I heard boos that night. This was a different England team. And I think it's only right and proper that I focus on them to start with, because that was an outstanding performance from them. Ireland are coming through the tunnel. They're an outstanding team. They are an incredible rugby team. They look dejected looking at them in the tunnel. That does just go to show how difficult it is to win a Six Nations, and why no team has ever managed to win back-to-back Six Nations championships. It's incredibly difficult. Every single win away from home is precious, because this tournament is full of some wonderful rugby teams. Yeah, Ireland will be sore after that, and I'm sure, hey, Ireland fans in the comments, what are you thinking right now? Let me know. Are you able to just sit back and say fair play England, or are you ruining the opportunities you left out there? That was resolve. I would say resolve was the big word, which it was the word I was just getting ready to use to describe Ireland, because when you look at the territory, you look at the possession, you look at the entries to the 22, England had by far the better of it, but Ireland just had that resilience and that resolve to what looked like find a way to win. But there's some guts in this England team, and Ben Earl, no one personified it more than him. George Martin just hit everything that moved. Ollie Chesham was a menace. Yeah, you've just got lads that showed some serious guts. So, yeah, I haven't actually got to talking about any of the game. I'm just soaking up the atmosphere here in Twickenham. So let's go through the match then. Oh my word, if you haven't already, I'd love it if I would earn your subscription on the channel. I'm Tim and this is Egg Chasers, and I love my rugby and I want to reach as many fellow rugby fans as possible. It's in a lot of parts of the world this is a really niche sport, even in England. Even after this famous victory, it's a niche sport, and I hope wins like that. I'm just going to show you the England team getting in a huddle. They'll be enjoying that. All I'm here to do is just get as many people to love our sport as possible. Games like that make it possible. The Irish support that travelled was amazing, and I understand why the Irish team are doing a lap of the pitch to show their appreciation for the supporters. Oh, it was all set for that St Paddy's Day showdown, wasn't it? Scotland fluffed their lines, and now I guess Ireland have fluffed theirs. Right, so England started far the better team. Despite that fact, Jack Crowley got that early penalty, and then it was that try from Ollie Lawrence. And what I noticed in that first try from Ollie Lawrence, but you saw it in the whole game, when there was space out wide, England just went for it. They identified the space in a way that they haven't before now, recently. They identified the space and they actually went for it. Oh, in a bit, Jez. So our Irish friend. Yeah, England identified the space and then actually used it when they had it. Got the ball to the extremes. went coast to coast. And it was that sort of play that saw us with that try for Ollie Lawrence. Penalty from George Ford. And England were 8-3 up. But England did not make the territory, the possession they had in those opening minutes count enough as much as they should have done. And so when Jack Crowley put them ahead with a couple of penalties, well, 12-8 at half-time, I was a bit concerned. I thought Ireland had just shown a lot of resilience. Josh van der Fleer, Ty Byrne is just an absolute warrior. And then James, in the second half, that's what I was thinking at half-time. I was chatting with the guys here and we were saying, well, for the amount of possession and territory England had, the amount of entries to the 22, to not make it count, to George Ford to leave 7 kickable points out on the field, 2 penalties and 2 conversions and a penalty, as it panned out before he left the field. I didn't think it would be possible to beat Ireland leaving that many points out on the field. And James Lowe scored that try. Oh, what a fantastic try that was, by the way. Oh. Yeah, England blitz defence backfired, didn't it? Josh van der Fleer had won a penalty against England to release the pressure. England tried the blitz defence. Jack Crowley stepped inside Henry Slade, got the ball to the outside. And yeah. Whew. Great try. But the blitz backfired, but sorry, Danny Care's having a word, 100 caps for him, I'll get to that in a second. George Furbank hit straight back. Again, identification of the space, the ambition to actually go and use the space, and the skills to deliver. They stressed Ireland one way, then came back the other. Another missed conversion. Wonder whether George Ford maybe should do drop kick conversions. But as it was, that was one of his final parts in the match. The changes started coming on. Oh yeah, that's right. I'd missed the fact Calvin Nash went off in the first half, meaning that Kieran Frawley came on to fall back and Hugo Keenan had to go on the wing. That disrupted Ireland's plans a bit, and the 6-2 split kind of backfired a little bit. There was people during the Rugby World Cup complaining that South Africa shouldn't be allowed to do the 7-1 split. But it just goes to demonstrate there's 2 sides to that coin, and when Kieran Frawley had an HIA as well and had to leave the pitch, Jamison Gibson Park was left on the wing. And just at the point when you felt like Ireland wanted to up the tempo, that's where Jamison Gibson Park comes into his own as a scrum half, and he wasn't in a position to do that for his team. But he was in a position to set up that try. Like I say, fantastic hands for him. Where am I at? I'm just, oh yeah, Peter O'Martiny yellow card. And then England actually capitalised when Ireland were down a man. Ben Earl, what a warrior that guy is. I got some stick when I did the preview video the other day, and I did my combined 23-man squad. There's quite a lot of fans, quite a lot of Irish fans, who thought I was being partisan and just being a bit blinkered and English by picking Ben Earl in my combined back row ahead of Peter O'Martiny. Now, I love the war god Peter O'Martiny. If you watch the channel for any length of time, you will know I love Peter O'Martiny. But Ben Earl is just playing out of his skin, and he was the best player on the pitch today. And he is an absolute barometer of where England are, and he dragged that team through, and his try sustained pressure, and then he was the one that delivered. That demonstrated it on. Danny Care, who was just speaking to the crowd, came on for his 100th cap after 65 minutes. An amazing noise from the crowd at that point, and the DJ in the bowl here started playing House of Playing Jump Around. It's like, I don't mind a bit of music, but there's times just to let the fans do what they do, and that was one of those moments. So a minor bugbear and an otherwise great occasion. Ben Earl got a turnover, 67 minutes, a critical one. Ireland needed that tempo, like I say. Jamison Gibson Park was on the wing, but his hand to put James Lowe in for that second try of his, absolutely outstanding. Could Marcus Smith have done better in defence? I think James Lowe was going to score whatever happened, wasn't he? Ireland had penalty advantage and they converted. They made the most of the chances they had, really, and England left some chances out there. Elliot Daly took a halfway kick, was wide of the posts. Marcus Smith made a lovely break. Chandler Cunningham himself coming on and making an impact. But for once, England showed real composure in Ireland's 22. Ireland were hanging on and hanging in. And then they just managed to deliver when it really mattered. And that was a performance. That was a performance that England fans can be proud of. And again, to come back to it, that is a performance that demonstrates what a fantastic tournament this is, how precious every single away win is, how hard they are to come by. And, well, people were asking just how big of an achievement would it have been if Ireland had have won back-to-back Grand Slams. I think that game here demonstrates what an incredible achievement it would have been, because a Grand Slam is this very, very rare and special thing. Back-to-back Grand Slams has never been done. That'll hurt Ireland. Again, I'm interested how fans feel. You have got a wonderful rugby team. You came up against an England team that were inspired. I just wanted to see an England team that would go out and smash people in defence and have a go in attack, and they did. They did both of those things today, and it was just enough. When you're in this position, I'm not listening to the commentary, I'm not hearing the referee, so was there anything I missed? I don't know if there was anything majorly controversial in that point. Potentially Tommy Freeman's foot in touch for ahead of one of England's tries, maybe. That's one thing. I was sitting here looking, did England get away with one there? But do you know what? If it was the other way around, I wouldn't be throwing my toys, spitting my dummy out, throwing my toys out the pram for that one. So, yeah, as an Englishman, very proud. As a rugby fan, I love this competition. It's going to be a strange weekend next weekend, isn't it? We're not going to have a wooden spoon decider, potentially. We might do. And we're not going to have a Grand Slam decider that it looked like a few weeks back. I'm going to leave it with Ben Earl. There is Ben Earl on the pitch, getting the appreciation of the fans. That guy was immense. He was the difference between the two teams. It feels good to be in a Twickenham stadium like this. And with that, I will say, please leave your comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.